Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. I am so happy that you all are at the Freedom Summit. This has been a blast, and we are moving right along with another expert. As you know, this has been an amazing series. We are working on releasing our past and limiting beliefs so that we can truly live the life of our dreams, the life that we know that we were created to do, turning those trials into treasures. My next expert, boy, oh boy, can I tell you how excited I am to have her. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman that is doing, man, I'm like, what doesn't this lady do? She is amazing. From a very young age, she started reading and writing and got into journalism, which moved her to Atlanta, where she kind of fell in love with journalism, and she wrote her first book. Her mission and her goal is to really help women talk about or release emotional abuse. You know, we have so many people that are talking about physical abuse and mental abuse, and although those are huge and we need people that are working on those areas, there's not a lot of people that talk about emotional abuse. And from a woman that suffered emotional abuse, boy, do I appreciate her. So I want to welcome my guest, Alexis. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited about you being here on this summit. I love the work that you are doing for women. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and the work that you're doing.
I am an author, an inspirational speaker, and although I don't necessarily identify with being a relationship expert, I am deemed a relationship expert. I just use my triumphs to make them my trials and to be able to inspire other women, because what I've noticed is that what happened to me is not an isolated incident. What happens to many of us is not an isolated incident. And oftentimes we hide behind facades and thinking that, oh, that just happened to me. And, you know, that happens when else other people will be able to understand or relate. And that is not true. So I have dedicated my time to speaking to women to help raise awareness, as you mentioned, to emotional abuse, so that women can understand that it is not okay for us to experience some of the things that we've experienced. And it does not make us strong. It makes us weak. The longer we hold on to things, the more we try to repair things and internalize things and go into damage control, that we us from being able to let go and to move on with our lives, because we end up carrying that baggage from this situation to the next situation and for the rest of our lives, in our marriages, in our relationships, and even in our friendships.
Yes. Oh my God, that is so true. I often tell the women that I work with, you cannot make someone pay for the broken dishes from your past relationship, right? And this is exactly what the work that you are doing. It's funny, you know, because I too say I'm not a relationship coach, but relationships is so important. Another expert that I was speaking to said that relationships is currency. So anytime we have a relationship and the baggage and the things that go along with that relationship, it's going to affect us, especially if we don't do the work to move past that. So tell me, what is your passion? I think I have an idea. You being a Purdue graduate, I mean, oh my gosh, you have so many amazing accomplishments. What's that thing that keeps you up at night, or that thing that wakes you up in the middle of the night that, you know, sometimes if you're anything like me, I say, I'm done with this, Lord, let this burden pass, but I continue to dream about it. I continue to, you know, have visions about it. What is that thing for you?
It's to be able to really connect and empower women. And I mean, empower women, not just, oh, I'm women empowerment, but I don't help my sisters, you know, I don't reach out to help people advance. I truly mean to really help women, because what is happening to us emotionally, it is disastrous. And, you know, we can't be any good to our mates, to our friends, to our parents, to our siblings, to our children, if we're not right within. And a lot of us are beautiful women on the outside with a beautiful, shiny, I use the analogy of a box. We have beautiful boxes wrapped in nice glittery paper with the fabulous bows, and we look presentable to others and very exciting for us people to want it. When you open up the top, there's nothing on the inside. So that's one of the things that burns me. It burns my biscuit just getting up knowing that I'm able to get the day started and to be able to say something that's going to trigger the light bulb to come on for someone, to be able to help someone and to really make you think, just to really make you think, because I don't think that it's anything that I can do to inspire you other than to help you think about it. You know what I mean? It just takes planting a seed to help you understand that, you know what, there may be a point to that because I never thought about that before. And it may be something that you start to think about, that it consistently begins to fester in your mind and you begin to internalize it. And you are able to really make some changes in your life that you probably wouldn't have considered making a change before.
Yes, that totally resonates with me and with my brand. There's a lot of women that put on women empowering women events and, all these different types of events. But at the end of the day, are the ladies leaving with some tangible things to help them change their lives, right? Are they leaving with, like you said, a different mindset and able to think different and then apply that thought process into their daily lives? Because we are definitely the cornerstones of most of our families, especially in the African American community. Black women are the cornerstones, and a lot of times because of our past, and we don't have enough time to go into the generational stuff that is caused, but a lot of times we have baggage from our past that keeps us stuck, that keeps us burdened, that keeps us repeating negative relationships. As you said, we go from one bad relationship to the next. So tell me, how do you feel holding on to your past and being stuck in that? How can that hinder you from truly living the life of your dreams?
The calendar days are moving forward, but you're not. And your baggage is aging. And like any old trash, it begins to stink after a while. And it's very important that, once you realize, and a lot of times you don't realize it, but I strongly recommend for women to journal. It may seem weak, it may seem silly, whatever your ideal of it is. But once you start to express yourself, and it's just God, the universe, whomever you worship and you fellowship with in your intimate time, you start to really look at you for who you are, and you begin to cut yourself open and to expose your soul, to expose your spirit, to expose your feelings. And it's okay to cry because no one's there judging you. No one's talking back to you. And honestly, it's been plenty of times when I've been writing in my journal where I'm like, you know what, God, I heard that. Yeah. And then I'm like having a conversation going back and forth, and I'm sure nobody else can read and understand what I'm saying because I'm having a full conversation in my journal. But I strongly recommend for women to take possession of 5-10 minutes of your day. If it's on your lunch break, if it's first thing in the morning, if it's maybe 3 minutes before you go to bed, get that off of your chest. Because as I mentioned before, the longer age there, it begins to stink and magnets come. And all the things that eat you up on the inside begin to attach and leech onto you. And you're never going to be able to move forward in your life holding on to that stuff that you can't control. It's done, it's over with. You trying to control your future by, making sure that it doesn't happen again. That's not going to help you grow. Instead of you going out this way, you start to come in this way. And it starts to decay. And so in order to free your mind, to free your heart, and to free your spirit is to be able to learn how to let go. Like they say in the Serenity Prayer, let go of the things that you cannot control, forget the things that you cannot change, and just be at peace with yourself. But that all starts with you learning how to really release those feelings, those negative emotions, that heartbreak, it hurts. It's not going to be pretty. And that's the one thing that we really need to get out of our minds, that there's a thing called a perfect life, a perfect relationship, a perfect marriage, an ideal career. None of that exists. Everything's going to have ups and downs. And it's important that you learn how to master that balance and to find that peace within you. But you can only find that when you're being transparent with you to you, so that you can understand why it is that you're doing the things that you're doing and how do you move forward.
Wow. You said, girl, you're preaching. You are preaching. Let me tell you, the journaling process is definitely something that I encourage my clients to do, that I do on a daily basis. Recently, I started journaling to my younger self, because I realized that I was holding on stuff from my childhood that I had no clue. And I started to see a pattern. I was sharing with a friend earlier. So as a child, as a young woman, I was a sprinter. I've always, was athletic. And I learned that that's something that I picked up internally. And so in relationships, I became a sprinter. So you like me, I like you, let's get married, right? And in friendships, I became a sprinter. Oh, girl, you like that lipstick? I like that. Okay, we best friends. And I realized that my ideology, my thought pattern was wrong. So I had to go back and figure out, okay, why am I always sprinting towards things? And I realized because that was the one thing that my dad found approval in. So he approved of me sprinting. He approved of me being fast. And so, but I wouldn't have never come to that realization if I didn't take the time and journal. And let me tell you, it's painful. It hurts. It's having those realizations hurt. But I would rather, what does the scripture say about coming to light? Once you come to light, it's like
no darkness,
and you're free. There's so much freedom when you do those things. So moving on, man, this is so good. I'm just loving this conversation. What about self-love? I know that you talk a lot about self-love and self-acceptance. And how important do you feel those two things are in living the life and becoming the woman that that you are today? So becoming the woman that you said, because through your trials and through your relationship situations and different things, it's easy to fall into where you don't love yourself or you don't like yourself. Like you said, so often pretty girls like us, we can look pretty, we can dress up, but to actually be pretty on the inside, right? How important is self-love and self-acceptance?
Well, first and foremost, we have to fight to love and to accept ourselves, just like we fight to love a man, and we fight to love our careers and fight to love whatever else that it is that we love. And we have to fight to accept ourselves, even when you don't. And it's okay to have a bad day and say, you know what, girl, I don't love you today. You something else. It's okay to have a love-hate relationship with yourself, because that's a part of your relationship with you. And like any relationship, it's not going to be perfect. Wow. It's not going to be pretty. And you have to learn how to forgive, which is the hardest thing of forgiveness. But you have to learn how to yourself for the things you knew and the things you didn't do right. And even if you didn't, you have to get yourself for that. And so self-love and self-acceptance is highly important to anyone's growth. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you're going. In order for you to be content with your journey, not nobody else's, yours, you have to learn how to accept yourself despite the situations, despite the circumstances, and love yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not setting the tone for you to love you, then every man that you attract or every friend that you attract is not going to love you. They're going to disrespect you, and they're just going to perpetuate the way that they you treat you. So you need to feel good about you. It's okay that things didn't happen the way that you thought that they did. People didn't treat you the way that you felt like they should have. It is absolutely okay, because guess what? There is going to be a recompense for everything that you dealt with. And you're going to have so much life. The best is always yet to come. You may have a dark season that, may last for 10 years, 20 years, it may even last as short as 3 months. But the end goal is that your end day, or you're past that point, is going to be so much greater than that one season. And you will move on with your life and grow, and you will forget things happen to you unless you're just having a conversation with someone and someone else is going through it. And your trials become someone else's advantage lesson to them, because you can show them how you made it through. But you can't do that if you don't own it. You can't do that if you can't accept it. You can't do that if you don't love who you were, because that all makes you who you will be today and who who I am is a byproduct of what I've been through. And that's the way that we all have to look at life. And when we love ourselves and we learn to accept ourselves.
Wow. Wow. That is so good. I believe wholeheartedly. I got goosebumps, or spirit bumps, as I call them. I believe wholeheartedly that you just spoke into someone's life, because I know that there's women watching this broadcast that feel like their 10-year period has been too long, but maybe they need to be in that period for that long, or their 3-month period has been too short. And, you know, society or people will tell us, and let's keep it all the way 100. Church folks will tell us how long our period should be and how long our season should be. Only self and God can determine how long that period of healing and reconciliation takes place. And once you're over it, move on and keep it pushing. And through it all, one thing that you said that I truly love is love the person that you are. You know, the mistakes that I made, I'm glad. I am so glad I have turned those trials into treasures. I wouldn't be able to sit here. I am I believe one of the most vulnerable and transparent people, sometimes to a fault. But I always say, when God elevates me and I'm on somebody's stage for real, right? I'm going to be able to say, I already shared it. And I love and accept that period of my life. So, oh my goodness, that was so, so good. Tell me, as we are coming to a close, this is so good, I don't want it to end. I love it. Tell me, you have done so much self-work. I can tell, you know, it radiates out of you. You can tell when a person is truly doing the work or when it's just lip service. So you being a woman that have lived through the storm, has turned your trials into treasures, and it's continuing, because I said to another one of my experts, I'm becoming. People always ask me, how did I become the woman that I am? And I tell them, I'm not. I'm becoming. It's always a daily practice. So what are 3 actionable steps that a person can take that is ready to let go of their past, turn those trials into treasures, and whatever those trials are, you know? So let's speak from the point of view of an emotional abusive relationship. How can you take those things that have happened to you, or how did you do it? And what would you encourage the audience to do? 3 things that they can do to move forward.
I would definitely recommend it starts first and foremost with being transparent, being candid about who you are and the things that you've gone through. It's not necessarily giving notice to anybody. It's just saying, you know what, these are some things that I'm working to deal with. I don't like them. Well, perhaps we can work together. You know, when you go forward, coming out of emotional, draining, toxic relationships, you have to tell people, because otherwise they may say something that may set you off, and they don't even realize that they've offended you, you know, or something may have made you feel uncomfortable. So it's all about owning who you are. You're being authentically who you are, and you can't be apologetic about it. You have to sometimes show your scars to prove that you're real and to prove that you've been through something. And it's not going to be pretty at all. You know, you think about it, when you look at Mary J, she has a scar on her face. Yeah. And she's worn her scar. I mean, she has no choice, but I'm sure at this point, you know, she has accumulated enough wealth to where if she wanted to get that removed, she could. But that shows that she's been through something. Yeah. And that's her being her authentic self and being transparent. And we have to be the same way with no matter what it is that we've dealt with in our lives in order for us to conquer it and to be successful and to move on. The second thing that I would say is to be resilient. You have to be resilient no matter what. You have to persevere, keep going. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't collect $200. Don't post a status on Facebook. Just keep going, you know, and document your success and your resiliency. And you'll see through journaling how far you have come. And to be fearless. Don't let the things that you've gone through before to stop you and to paralyze your growth because you have fear setting in. Fear will always hinder you from advancement. Fear will hinder you from developing, evolving, becoming, and being the richest person on the inside that you can possibly be. You can't do that if you have fear. So I would just recommend those 3 steps: to be transparent, to be fearless, and to be resilient, and watch yourself evolve, because it's going to happen if you're implementing those 3 things.
Yes, that is so good. Transparency, resiliency, and being fearless. Mm-hmm. Using those 3 tactics will definitely take you to the next level. It will help you turn every single trial into a treasure, knowing, like she said at the beginning of this interview, that you're not alone. You sharing your story, you being transparent can actually free you and then free someone else. And then being resilient, because guess what? Life happens. I always tell people, yes, I got through that storm of my life, but it is going to be no surprise when another storm comes or when another storm comes. So being transparent, being resilient, and being fearless. Fearless is one that I think all of us are continuing to work on, but it's a necessary thing to do. Mm-hmm. Wow, you are an amazing woman. I am so honored. This has just been a pleasure speaking with you. Your spirit, you have a gift of giving. You have a gift of knowledge over your life. I'm sure that has been prophesied to you before. And I am so glad that you are using your gift of knowledge to share the wealth to women. I want people to be able to get in contact with you. I want people to be able to follow you, to get into your programs, to get whatever you have going on. So tell us, how can we be connected to you?
Absolutely. You can always visit my website, AlexisNicoleWhite.com. I am on Facebook at Alexis Nicole White, Instagram at I am Miss Alexis, Twitter at I am Miss Alexis, Snapchat at I am Miss Alexis, Google Plus at Alexis Nicole White, and of course on YouTube at Alexis Nicole White.
Perfect. So all of her contact information is in the email below this broadcast. So you go there and you click on it and you get in contact with her. Alexis, what do you have going on? What do you have? What programs? Tell us. I want the women to be able to connect to you, because you have been such of service. And I just know that you have jewels that you are ready to release to my community and to all the women that are joining this community. So let us know, do you have any programs? Do you have anything going on right now?
I am actually developing a program to where I will be in partnership with other relationship coaches, therapists, counselors, and things like that to really help women be equipped with the necessary resources and tools that they need to be successful in life. So all I can do is plant the seed, but it's up to you to water it. And I want you to be prepared with all of the foundation that you need to be successful from other people who have studied the discipline that can really help you and really rectify all that darkness and just take it out of your life today.
I love that. I love when people connect with learned folks. You know, it's one thing to have a gift, a natural gift like me and you have, but when you make those connections, and that has truly been the season that I'm in, is collaboration and connection. So go follow her, go connect with her, go to her website, go pick up her book. Tell us the name of your book again.
The Covered.
The Covered. Oh my gosh. And if you go to her website, you will get a sneak peek. She has some of a couple of the chapters in her book right there on her website. And let me tell you, it is juicy. It is a very, very good read. You need to go follow her, find her. All of her information is in this website, is in this email below. I thank you. I thank you, sister. I thank you, queen. I wish you much success. Any last words as we end the broadcast?
I just want you ladies to be empowered, to free yourselves, continue to be transparent, be fearless, and be resilient in your walk, and may God continue to bless you.
All right. And so it is. Good night, ladies.
Good night.